I was never on board with the idea 100%. Luckily, during the times that it became a trending topic or a headline on the desk, I wasn't there. So when people kept talking about the whole, there's no host country that ever won the world championship, never sat well with me. So with that said, I want to hear your thoughts after today's episode. Let me know if you buy or sell. Do you agree or disagree? Because I personally think there's no such thing as a host country curse. You're watching Recall on Record at your service. My name is Leo. Special thanks to Smart Giga Arena powering our show. Smart Giga Arena is your training ground of greatness. You get a chance to play arcade games, join casual tournaments, get into a gachapon on the weekends, and of course, get into a whole esports ecosystem through the UBC. All you gotta do is get in on GA20. That's right, 100 MB worth of data for all sites, valid for a whole day, plus 2 tickets to join in and spend however you want on Smart Giga Arena. Go ahead, visit gigaarena.smart and use your TNT and Smart prepaid numbers to join in. That part's free, but everything else on board, as low as 20 pesos. GA20, load up now. Shoutouts as well to Dark League Studios, where heroes come to light, and to ASUS Republic of Gamers for those who dare. Once again, my name is Leo, in case you're new here. If you're enjoying the content we're churning out, go ahead, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and like me on socials. It's at LeoCastsPH. All right, let's run through some community stuff first. I have been running 1v1 brawl tournaments on Smart Giga Arena, and as a part of the whole tournament situation, as a whole experience, I promised that I would highlight and shout out the winners of every one. So this past weekend's tournament was won by none other than Momo Shikan. Momo Shikan shared a bit of some tips as to how they won. Sabi nila, you gotta be aggressive even if you're losing the hero matchup, because pushing in brawl is so much faster than a normal game. If you can kill your opponent, it's almost always over. So get to that. Get on the advantage, push hard. That's what Momo Shikan says. All right? Let's go ahead and go through some headlines in the world of MLBB esports. A lot of roster movements over the past week. Confirmed, Coach Theo and Eman are out of RSG Philippines. I guess the rumors were true. That came out on the 8G podcast during the whole Wolf and Miracle Redux. They mentioned that there were rumors of Eman being out. Coach Theo leaving as well. I always felt that he always wanted to grow. He always wanted to do more than, share the podium with Coach Panda. Again, Coach Panda is amazing. Coach Panda is great. But yeah, over the past year, I think it came time that maybe Coach Theo spread his wings. I'm not so sure where he's headed, what he's about to do from here on, but even that part is a little mum. But we wish him the best. Just the same for Eman. Even with the rumors, I always thought it was weird, and I always felt like Eman wasn't going anywhere. He is obviously a flagship and, again, anchor for the team. He just recently won MPL Invitational. Again, the very first MPLI champions that come from the Philippines. He's an MSC champion. He's an MPL champion. He is constantly on a podium finish when it comes to most tournaments RSGPH joins. So I don't know what's going on there. Not sure if he's going overseas, but there's a bright future ahead of Eman. Great kid. So hopefully we see more of him, even if not with MPLPH, even with not with RSGPH. As well, confirmed via his own social media, Coach Fly Solo has parted ways with Deus Volt. In my opinion, I think Deus Volt is great on individual levels. Again, you can say that 100 times for Kid Bomba. Bombanatics represent. But what I'm trying to say is, even with a different coach, I think Deus Volt can grow. And Coach Fly Solo's experience and coaching prowess can be used elsewhere. So this doesn't feel to me like it's as big a loss. Already, they were great coming from M5, right? They shocked the world, true dark horses. finished in fourth, but from there, I think both parties have to really spread their wings, Coach Fly Solo on to the next one, the next big venture after the MDL, after going overseas and coaching for the ECA. It's now time for him to move on. For Deus Volt, it's time for them to grow. And I don't know exactly how big of an org Deus Volt is, but I don't see what's wrong, or I don't see how they couldn't get acquired by a different org if that's possible, unless Deus Volt holds on to them. But it's possible that they themselves go and find greener pastures elsewhere, maybe under a bigger umbrella. Hopefully. If that does happen, then that means that scene is growing, then that means they're growing, and I wish them the best. So that's a confirmed roster move there. Deus Volt parts ways with Coach Fly Solo. As well, from our friends from Cambodia, the Khmer Championship team, Burn X Flash have parted ways with Coach Mitch and Donut. That one's confirmed for sure, but I'm not so sure if they'll follow up with a 1-2 punch of replacements, because obviously Coach Mitch did amazing work with Burn X Flash, even if he did take a break away from them, working with Team Lil Gun. And Donut, of course, is a star. Donut is just boom. Donut is huge. Donut is homoy mao in Cambodia, man. Like, I don't know if my grammar's correct, if that makes sense, but Donut is him. So if he's moving around, if there was a bigger offer or a better place or team for him to play for under the MPLKH banner, then for sure. Or if he wants to come home, take a break. So whatever it is, I wish these two gentlemen the best. They've always been representing the Philippines and their teams very well. And of course, for Burn X Flash, I hope that they have a good coach on the way and just as good gold laner. Maybe not as handsome as Donut, because Donut is quite the looker, but all jokes aside, that's a confirmed roster move there. Let's see how else things change for the MPLKH landscape, because there's already a lot of rumors there, a lot of possible changes. Like, they've been teasing more imports, they've been teasing acquisitions. So whoever and whatever they might be, let's just stay tuned. As well, it's time for us to now go on over to last week's YouTube comments. Let's run right through them. Marami to. There's a lot of them. So I want to make sure that each one gets a good spotlight. Saying what's up to Lamang Ren. Always been an amazing part of the community. Very smart, very intelligent insights. Of course, he gets on talking about how he's getting tired of, they are getting tired, not so sure, of the same ego issue and TOB not caring about winning. Can't say for sure, what the right or real cause of that is, but on the other side of that same coin that I presented about how teams need more understanding and cooperation amongst each other, comes down to the point how it has been presented in the past that Zayn can get a little toxic with his teammates. And just the same, teams like TOB need a captain to hold them together. Maybe it might be Chicken. You're right. I like what you're presenting here. Maybe it might be Chicken. Knowing Chicken from behind the scenes, having shared a few moments with him off broadcast, off competition, very intelligent dude. He knows what he's saying. Definitely I can see how he gets along with Zayn. So maybe it's that right mix. Maybe he is the right mix to re-spark a renaissance in NAMLBB. So yeah, no, definitely. Chicken's great. I'm in for it. Let's see if he can put himself in that kind of a position, to be a leader, to be a forerunner for the scene. Evan Bonji Bod. There you go. Not that I'm glad that these regions fell off, but I do like that it gave room for other regions to rise and find their place in MLBB esports world. I agree. You know what? That's another part that I don't think I mentioned in that MLBB in NA, MY, and Myanmar fell off. It's also partly not a matter of these three getting weaker. It's everyone just stepped up. So they get left behind. Like, no one expected EECA to do so well. Turkey and Cambodia are also slowly becoming powerhouses. Cambodia is becoming speed.team, speedy sports, man. And of course, Turkey I don't know what's up with Turkey. They're so spicy. They're so unique. And Mongolia is potentially given some more time. I'm with it. If Mongolia can come back during the mid-season cup, which is, by the way, official now, mid-season cup, let's get it, then for sure. If it's Fireflux again, so be it. I think it just signals that we are at a healthy rate for the global MLBB esports scene, and more regions are coming and making names for themselves, that it's no longer just Southeast Asia. I love it. You're right. These regions just have to do better in 2024. And I think all regions just have to do better in 2024. Let's just put it at that. Raichu, NA really needs adult supervision to weed out those toxic individuals. I think that's a good way to put it. Adult supervision, within and without. Like, yeah, there has to be like a big brother or a big org or sister. There have been amazing women that have handled MLBB esports affairs. But yeah, again, they need that kind of supervision and management. So hopefully, again, I'm hoping an org, like a big org, comes in. That's Raichu there. Dahyunker, not gonna lie. NA, unless they settle their drama with Mobazane, will never be as strong as they were back then. Agreed. Drama being the main thing from your region is never a good thing. Malaysia, honestly expecting them to compete with the PH. That's right. I was hoping that in M5, it would have been that triumvirate again. Malaysia, Indo, PH, but I don't know, man. With their bravado and confidence. Again, much like what they did in MPLI, man. Even to the season leading up to MPLI, right? There was already a little bit of swag, a little bit of a fire inside the MPL MY alone. But yeah, no. Myanmar, I don't know what's going on with Myanmar, to be fair. I've rewatched a few moments from M4, and Falcon really looked like they were grand finals ready then. And that was the last time I ever saw Myanmar being that big of a threat. A few folks mentioned SEA Games. I don't know if it's from my YouTube channel or from elsewhere on social media, but yeah, the SEA Games was pretty close. Like if it wasn't Philippines, Malaysia, could have been Myanmar, Philippines for the gold medal match there. Yeah, they did not have a peak, says the Yunker, but they sure fell off. Again, it's a relative peak, like their own peak as per their international performance. But I do hope that they come back stronger because I really want them to see, I want to see other teams challenge the reigning champions. I don't know what they need, but I'm sure adapting quick to the meta will be a good factor. I think that's the best we can do. We can all just present our opinions, our theories, be respectful about it, and learn from each other. Because I'm sure these teams are, putting in their effort 24/7, these countries, these regions, to figure out why are we not as strong at MLBB as these others. So the problem is just as big for them, man. Jamie Bernardino, I agree, NA has fallen off. The region is so divided. As for Malaysia and Myanmar, I still see hope in them. I can still see their passion and desire to win. I don't think I want to question NA's passion and desire. I think that's a relative concept as well. I hope this coming mid-season cup and to the NACT season prior, we see a new fire. Something has to change, man. Something has to freaking change. NA, if you need help, my DMs are open. I don't know how far I can commit to that. Just kidding. Yeet Lord, Malaysia deserves one slot for every. Hey, Yeet Lord, come on, Yeet Lord. If Malaysia reads this, all of those teams, they're gonna prove you wrong. Carlton, I agree, Quilio. For Malaysia, they really didn't fall off. And they went down bad. Really hope SMG, me too, dude. SMG more than Homeboys, because Homeboys already kind of confirmed and proven themselves, especially in MPLI. But for SMG, it was a really big heartbreak, man. Matabang Utak. Yeah, I think my audio is pretty high up, man. This mic picks up well. DJI Pocket 3, by the way. Kyle Kamano, Myanmar and SEA Games. There it is. They went 3 games against PH. That's the one until the Canon event happened, the Filipino Canon. I think that's something else I need to cover. Like how people are saying I don't give Flap TZ the respect that he deserves. Again, given how I didn't put him in my 10 greatest like a couple months ago. We'll get on that, don't worry. Nami, Thanks for the informative video. Keep it up. Thank you, Nami. Would like to see you soon again. Had fun while you were hanging out with us in the backstage of M5. KD 3500. NA is full of drama. For the Burmese Ghouls, I agree. It could be the outside factors that fatigue them. For Cambodia, MP and Kosei played well for See You Soon. They did great. For MY, again, a lot of people expected a lot from Homeboys, for sure. Here we go. I always like these cross-sport references. DM Blink once. I don't want to reference basketball since I'm not really that into it, but weren't Scottie Pippen, the one with the colored hair? They didn't like him, but then again, boom, champions. What Zayn offers more than skill, it's the mentality. You don't have to be friends, you just need to win. Again, very iffy on that statement. You don't need to be friends to be able to win. I think there has to be respect. There has to be an understanding and a mutual respect, which again, call it friendship, call it a bond, whatever you want, but not downplaying if TOB doesn't want to though. However, they should at least ride or die with the comp, not constantly change their lineup. I think that's something that Pika said, like how teams are just so willing to move around and to play not even just different teams, but different roles too. So that might be something that they should consider for sure, like looking in. Last couple ones, Edward used that alam mo ba 2-0 photo. Son of Agum, more like these countries mentioned stagnated while the others improved. There it is. You said it. And click ping. Shoutouts. Okay, so we've run through our YouTube comments. We've run through some big headlines. Again, I would like to cover as much news as I can, but I'm only really going to be covering official news. I don't want to be the one that says, oh, Leo said there's this, there's that. Given our position and responsibility representing the league and the esport. So we'll talk about it when it becomes official. So we're waiting on that as of the recording of this video, all right? Now, jumping into the main headline, I believe there is no host country curse. Why? All right, why? Much like we did in the last episode, I want to present to you guys what exactly happened in the past M series. First up in M1, which was held in Malaysia, Todak was the one that went furthest. They were third. This is their best performance as a country so far. And they went 1-3 against RQ in the lower bracket, and they dropped. All right, so third, pretty good, right? This was during the time where I think it's safe to say, besides Indo, like being miles ahead, because again, that was their grand finals, maybe MYSG at the time was a close second or a far second. So sure, that's the landscape of things, right? Again, hindsight's 2020. Let's move on. That was 2019. Next up, the 2020 World Championships, M2, which was held in Singapore, which was the only place it could have been held at the time given the whole pandemic situation, all right? EVOS SG was the furthest Singaporean team that came on throughout the play-ins at top 8, where they got O2'd by Todak. Okay, say what you will about the scene, say what you will about the whole situation. Number one, Singapore got the hosting because they can do it. They were the only ones who could have done it. And at the time, MYSG was about to split up, and they weren't at the top of their game. This one, now looking back at it, might be one of those weird ones wherein you can't say it's a curse because it's not like they came close, right? It's not like there was something out of the ordinary that led to them performing this way. It was at a time wherein MY was the one who went further, and they were split up. They were still together at the time before the split up. It happened after M2. So SG being a top 8 dropout kind of made sense because they were still a single entity, and you technically had like 3 or 4 reps from that region. So sure. M3, on the other hand, still was in SG. Again, it was held in the same year as M2, just towards the tail end. And EVOS SG this time made up for a lot of lost time. They were the last Singaporean team left in. RSG, SG was there too, but they fell off a little earlier. They finished in top 4. and they got 0-3'd by the eventual champions, Blacklist International. All right, so this one was pretty good. This one you could say, hey, Blacklist was just on a rampage. They were on a warpath. They were ruining the whole lower bracket after being dropped by BTK. So that one makes sense. This one is okay. You could chalk that one up to serendipity, but M1 and M2 so far, I'm not seeing anything crazy, all right? M4 on the other hand, M4 was held in Jakarta. This was a hosting ode to by Indonesia winning the first World Championships under EVOS Legends. RRQ Hoshi was the last Indonesian team that went the furthest. They finished at third, wherein they went 1-3 against Echo in the lower bracket finals, with Blacks International waiting up top. This was during a time wherein PH era was at its peak. This is the second time in a row in the World Championships, the second year in a row wherein it's a PH versus PH Grand Finals. So I can't say that even if it was a host country situation, they had, again, hindsight's 2020, right? They had much going for them to try and run for the championships. Echo was just on fire. You could say that this is very similar to the whole Blacklist EVOS SG situation. Not to say that their power levels are to scale, but Blacklist and Echo has something else going, man. This one was close to personal. It's as personal as it gets without it getting personal. You know what I mean? Like, it's a competitive rivalry. So from there, I'd say still no curse. You can say it's a pattern, but the only real pattern you can draw is M1 and M4. 2 and 3 were products of the circumstance. They were because SG was capable of hosting, right? So moving on so far, moving on. M5 recently concluded, hosted by the Philippines. AP Bren won the whole thing. That's why they were called the Curse Breakers. It was one of the last few calls on desk, if I'm not mistaken. Which, again, much respect to LaFell, if I'm not mistaken. He was the one who said that there's no curse. And again, I have to acknowledge the fact that even in the marketing material of M5, it was mentioned that no host country has ever won. You know what I mean? I think that already kind of put in the thought in people's heads that this whole host country situation thing is real. But looking back now, again, hindsight, I'm talking you through the history of this World Championships, the M Series, there's very little that we can go on with. So with that said, again, as human beings, we like patterns. We like seeing and making sense of things in a way that it makes sense. Like, oh, look at this. But I personally think to put that kind of weight and pressure on a host country makes it difficult, makes it, odd. This also led me to seeing what the history of the MSC line of tournaments were like. And check this out. The very first MSC held in Indonesia was won by a Thai team, IDNS. MSC 2018, again held in Indonesia, was won by a Filipino team. MSC 2019, held in the Philippines this time around, was won by an Indonesian team. MSC 2020 didn't happen. MSC 2021 was held online, was headlined by 2 Filipino teams. And MSC 2022, held in Malaysia, was won by a Filipino team. MSC 2023, held in Cambodia, was won by an Indonesian team. One might be able to say and put it all together, maybe there's an MSC curse as well. Has more reps, has more sample size, but just the same, it's a pattern that we can call out. It's a pattern that allows for us to say, hey, look, there's something similar here, but I'm not so sure if that's a very strong anchor that we can hold this theory to. So with that said, I acknowledge that there seems to be a curse, that again, a host country couldn't win it, but now that AP Bren broke it, and again became the very first team in history to win 2 World Championships in the series of this young but great and developing esport. Again, we broke records at M5. we'll have to move on from here. We'll have to find other narrative lines. We'll have to find other stories to tell. And hopefully, we find new champions as well. But for now, I'm going to put my feet up. I can't put my feet up. This is a weird situation I have here. But, you know, I'm going to revel in the fact that we are once again in the age of Filipino dominance. It's a new brand. It's a new era. It's a new chapter, which I think I've been saying for the better part of the past 6 months. I still believe we are in the Filipino era, and it's just evolved. Times have changed, but whoever's on top hasn't. Yes, there was a slight spell. There was an episode, I'd say a good 3 or 4 months, where it seemed like it was Indo on top. It was Onyx flying high, soaring over the clouds. But after M5, we've proven otherwise. Let's make it a healthy discussion. Go ahead, hit me up on the comment section. Let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree with the fact that I think there's no host country curse. It's just as true as caster curse. That's it. Let me just put it at that. It's as true as caster curse, wherein it's real until it's not. And here we've proven it's not. Say it's a joke, say it's for satire, say it's for humor, but I think it never was there to begin with. That's just me, all right? Hit me up on my socials once more. This bit right here, it's edited by Ray Ash. Give your man a follow on Facebook. He's got a 1K follower celebration going on. Get to it. And again, shout out to Smart Giga Arena, your training ground of greatness, the Dark League Studios, where heroes come to light, and the ASUS Republic of Gamers for those who dare. I'll see you guys in the next episode, and hopefully we cover something real spicy. Until then, go into the comments, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.